Hello everyone, today we are talking about the RTWC 65. Now, this is the new rifle in Ready or Not that just came out with the Boiling Point DLC. This weapon, I will say, is exceptional. This is probably one of my new favorite weapons. Now, when it comes to the types of muzzle brakes and attachments, these are the attachments I generally recommend. If not the silencer, then you're going to use the SFMB brake. But with that said, honestly, you could use any grip you want and any muzzle you want. Now, why is that? Well, it's because this weapon's recoil is insane. It is incredibly low recoil. And this is going to be me taking the shot with no recoil control. I am literally just clicking the mouse. I'm going to click it sort of progressively faster as I shoot. You'll kind of see the idea of how much recoil there is. I'm going to just be shooting kind of like center mass as I start. So ready, 3, 2, 1. That is virtually no recoil for a weapon like this. This is exceptional. Now, obviously, even with, if I am to shoot long distance with a bunch of follow-up shots, the accuracy is insane. The follow-up shots are very accurate. This weapon is exceptional for long-range shooting, as it says in the description. Now, as you are shooting, it is honestly probably the best weapon, hands down, for recoil reduction at distance. It is just so accurate. It is so controlled. If you are taking those hostage shots, you see that guy's head, you're going to take the hostage shot, you're going to shoot just over here, calculate height over bore, and bam, you can follow up with another shot if you miss. Look at that recoil. It's all staying very on point, very minimal recoil control. This is with the maximum recoil reduction of every actually attachment that you have on this weapon. I mean, kind of, not technically, but because there is the SDR, but that we're just going to ignore that for now. All the other attachments in terms of ignoring the scope vertical recoil reduction from that. But it doesn't really matter. This weapon has insane recoil reduction. You can put on a silencer, you can take this off, and it's still going to be exceptional recoil reduction. It's going to be super accurate with every follow-up shot. When they were designing this weapon, they must have said, hey, let's design a weapon that everybody's going to like. And yeah, that's probably what they did, because this weapon is exceptional. This is no recoil, really big reductions except the suppressor. It's like a small minor recoil reduction, not really that much. But as you can see, like the recoil, I'm just going to shoot a couple times. It's not that bad for having zero recoil reduction. I mean, minus the suppressor, as I said. But like, follow-up shots are easy, accurate. Now, there is one thing to note about this weapon. This weapon is not full auto. It cannot be full auto. It is going to have 20 rounds in the magazine, but it is single shot only. You cannot make it fully automatic. So you are going to have to shoot quickly. If you want to shoot quickly, take a target down, you'll be needed using that trigger finger, warm that up. I did do some testing with which type of ammunition you're probably going to want to be using most of the time. Honestly, armor piercing is just generally going to be the best thing overall, no matter what, because it's just general all-purpose functionality. I did test on standard. So on standard with AP, it is going to be 2 shots every target. It is armor piercing, so it is like a 7.62, but the damage values for tissue are much lower. So it's basically always going to be 2 shots on hard mode and on standard. If you hit a civilian with armor piercing, it is going to be a 1-shot incapacitate. If they do bleed, they will obviously be dead and not incapacitated. And of course, when it comes to JHP on standard mode, I was kind of surprised about this. It is going to be a 1-shot for unarmored targets. I'm not sure if it's always going to be a death. It's going to be a fluctuation. Of course, if it is a suspect that is just a civilian, they will die 1-shot as well. Obviously, if they get bled, they will die and bleed out. On occasion, there can be, it can take 2 shots, just as you kind of saw there, if they have some type of armor value. I'm not super able to detect who has armor, how consistent this is, but on occasion, I have noticed that it sometimes will still take 2 shots. So when you are using this new battle rifle, as they categorized it so, this new rifle, you will want to be using more magazines. You will probably want to be doing, if you normally do 4 for 30 round mags, you'll probably want 5 or 6 magazines roughly. You do want to account for firing quickly, but you are also going to be making up a lot of those shots by taking less shots because, well, you're more accurate If you are using a scope and optic that can zoom in and out, then obviously you are going to be taking those shots from a distance. You're going to be taking less shots overall if you are hitting those headshots, and it is going to conserve you ammo. So depending on how you're using it and what attachments you're using, this is a great tool for range, directly as it says. You can clearly see, as the description says of the weapon, it is designated marksman rifle built for long range accuracy and repeatable match grade performance. Now, that's the best definition. It is insanely accurate for how it is, especially with the follow-up shots. Great recoil control at distance, and it's honestly incredible. Now, it will take 2 shots on hard mode on every target, minimum. Obviously, if you're shooting in the head or other characteristics go on, or, other things going on, obviously it'll change, but generally speaking, it is 2 shots to kill, so you are going to go bang bang every time you see a target if you're shooting center mass. I do recommend, as I said, armor piercing. Honestly, if you're running this rifle, you're probably going to be running this specific sight that I just had on, the ATAK-R. It has 1 to 12 times zoom, has a 1 zoom, it has 6 times zoom, and it has a 12 times zoom. You're generally speaking not going to be using the 1 time zoom most of the time because you're probably going to be using a laser. Don't use off canted sights or canted off sights. You're going to be using a laser. Just use the laser. There's really not a reason not to use a laser. But if you do not want to use the laser or something, pick a mult laser. If you aren't going to use the canted sights, if you are going to use the canted sights, use a different laser pointer because it will block the sight of it if you have these laser pointers. So, the laser pointer like this is fine. The PEC 15 might obstruct it a little bit, but the mult laser will obstruct the sight. It's very hard. You want to see as much as you can. So just make sure that you're using the correct laser so you can have a better time with it. I don't really recommend using the canted off sights. Don't get me wrong, like they still function, of course, but and like this would be the weapon you would use with, canted sights. But honestly, like with more follow-up shots, and this is true with other weapons, not this weapon because the recoil control is exceptional. But if you are using other weapons, it is going to be shooting and recoiling up to the left like this. So follow-up shots will be really bad. Now with this weapon, because it is an exceptional weapon and it has probably, I'm not sure, but it probably has the best recoil probably in the game, like recoil reduction in the game. And that's just without even, having recoil reduction on the gadgets, on attachments on the weapon. Now, as I said, if you're going to use canted sights, don't use a laser that will block your vision. If the mult laser was there would be a lot more obstruction. Also, with the scope, you will have a lot less visibility. So let's say I am targeting and engaging this target over here. Well, I can't see this target and that target. So keep that in mind when using canted sights. So just kind of be aware of that. That's why I would like to use the laser sight. Not only does the sight, iron sights itself, block and obscure the target, but it just doesn't offer enough vision. It gives you less vision. Now, obviously, if you have your laser sight on and not a canted sight, it will be much more effective. As you can see, it offers much more visibility and very high accuracy, and it's a nice kind of indicator of where you're looking, where you're aiming for your team. And so it's not just a benefit to you, it's also a benefit for your team for identification purposes. And it is, as I said, very, very accurate. And now with the new multi-attachment system for Ready or Not, there's no real reason not to run a laser and a flashlight anymore. You just kind of have it all now, and it's kind of amazing and beautiful. Now, tell me what you guys think about this rifle. Do you guys like this? Do you guys hate this? Do you guys think it could be better, or do you think it's too good? Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys are enjoying the game. Are you guys struggling with those new maps? I bet some of you are, because those maps are pretty insane. A lot of people have been struggling with them. That's what I've been hearing. I played the maps on hard mode, and I've also been struggling with them. I'm not going to lie. It honestly will help if you have a competent team, of course. The AI are still a little bit derpy, but it is what it is. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys are enjoying this new DLC for Ready or Not. Do you feel like Void Interactive is going to turn over no leaf, or do you feel like there's still something on the bottom of the leaf that you really just don't want to have on your shoe? Let me know what you guys think, and that's it for the video. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.